Welcome to the dark side of New Zealand music. The underground and the dark. This is Darth Vader bringing you the newest additions to Uncle Roddus's record collection. Uncle Roddus here. Welcome to a new video. Yes, the dark side of New Zealand music. I've had a box of 8 new records arrive, plus some others yesterday. Yesterday. Underground New Zealand weirdo soundscapes, drone music, electronic weirdness like this playing in the background. Yeah, so I picked up. This music's actually quite cheap to buy, but I ended up getting a whole bunch of the stuff out of Italy on Discogs. There is a record label called Planum Records out of Italy, I believe, who are releasing a lot of this stuff, New Zealand stuff, which is quite interesting. So this noisy thing in the background is one of them. Our Love Will Destroy the World. I have shown a record of theirs before. They have this, now who's this? God, I can't remember the guy's name. A lot of these projects are actually solo guys who go under a bunch of different names. Our Love Will Destroy the World. No, his name, I looked it all up on Discogs last night and it's completely eluding me right now. But I do know that he has another band which I just showed a record of recently, or another name he goes under, Birchville Cat Motel. I think this is the same person. Let's see if his name's written on here. See, it's not even written. There's a lot of information. These guys are hugely prolific. I mean, Anthony Milton's another one. I mean, Stefan Neville's another one. They all go under different names, but they put out a lot of music, and surprisingly, a lot of it is getting put out on vinyl. A lot of it comes out on, used to come out on cassette in the old days, because that was the cheapest way of producing it, and a lot of them do CDRs. You could spend a lot of your time and money tracking down a lot of the stuff. It is a pretty big scene, and a bunch of them putting out a lot of music. And so this is the core of my section, my arrivals from yesterday. This one, Whitcyst, Witcyst. I'm not quite sure exactly how you say that. Now this guy is probably the most prolific producer of music on the planet. I mean, this is incredible. But he doesn't have a lot of vinyl. I think there are 3 vinyl issues listed on Discogs, and then there are a bunch of CDs and some cassettes and that. But he has a blog. Again, I can't remember the guy's name. But this is very lo-fi, droney, weirdo. This is probably the weirdest of the weirdest of New Zealand music. Anyway, he has a blog, and he has literally hundreds and hundreds of recordings that he does. Almost every day he puts something out on his blog. I don't know how long the pieces are. You can download them, you can listen to them on his thing. This is called Biased Anti-Color. Yeah, it's just outrageous. Not something I'm going to play a lot of, to be honest, but I just picked a whole bunch of these up off this seller off Discogs, and he had them for a pretty good price. Another Whitcyst from 1995 on Planuma Records, I think. Haven't played this one yet. Did play the yellow one last night. Well, I was going to play it while the wife's around, but it's headphone music. So yeah, I don't know what this one's going to be like. But and then someone on Facebook showed the third album that he has on vinyl. But yeah, massive collection of music. Okay, so and then we've got another of Our Love Will Destroy the World, Stillborn Plague Angels. Haven't played this one yet either. Stillborn Plague, Angels, Peak, Hello, Paradise. So 2 tracks, Chinese Emperors in the Army of Eternity over Prehistoric Texas. Discorder Records. So yeah, like I say, this guy under this moniker puts out a lot of music, but again, it's not as much as the other fella, but yeah. So this is one of his records playing in the background. I can't remember what the other one was like I've got because I haven't played it in a long time, but I think it was more guitar. This is more electronic, so yeah, I'm not sure what this one's going to be like. Then there's this guy, a guy from up in Tauranga. Now I'd seen these records around a couple of times over way back in when I first started collecting New Zealand music. Rotate the Completers, complete rotations of the. This is out on Roratorio Records. How on earth this ever got out on Roratorio really is beyond me. This is home recording, very lo-fi. All the tracks don't really have any names. They just have the little numbers and the little dots there. Rules for listening to Rotate the Completers. Complete rotations of the 1. Listen alone. 2. Listen with headphones on. Listen only at night. Only permissible foods to be eaten while listening to Rotate the Completers. Complete rotations of the is cruciferous vegetables, members of the alone genus. So yeah, this is a solo guy. Basically, it's a guitar and him banging on a drum. Very, very lo-fi, but actually really good. I think this could be New Zealand's version of Daniel Johnson. Yeah, no, it is. It's very interesting, and he actually plays some really interesting guitar licks and sings in interesting voices. So he has 2 records out on Roratorio. That first one was from 2010. This is the Rotator the Completers, the completed rotations. 39 of 100 from 2013, Roar 29. Yeah, again, I don't know how they got out on Roratorio. Roratorio, I do have some stuff from theirs. I have a Pauline Oliverio's album and a Sun Ra record. That's this label. Again, food should not be consumed 24 hours before ingestion of completed the rotations. Avoid all people before and after listening to this album. Only listen when tired and from the comfort of your bed. Other people's beds should not be used, even if they are superior in comfort to your own. Contact your doctor immediately if you feel any emotions while listening. Yeah. Haven't played this one yet, but the other one was really good, and I do like some of the guitar sounds. So there's acoustic and electric. Yeah, pretty interesting. This one here, Teen Xray Spirit Dog Roll, is a compilation from recordings, and I think they were all cassette originally from 1994 to 1996. This is on Platinum Records. This is a guy called Stefan Neville in combination with another guy whose name eludes me quite right. G Frenzy was his name. And so these guys recorded all this stuff way back in the early mid-90s. As I say, very, very lo-fi. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff happening here. I mean, it would be actually really cool to hear this stuff done in a studio or done on decent gear. These guys, you know, it's really underground. They have no money. They make no money. They don't sell many records. It's very lo-fi. It's very underground. It's very creative. It's not the sort of music that a lot of people want to listen to, but I really like it, some of it, in small doses, and I'm really pleased to have these in my collection. But yeah, I mean, these guys operate in a shoestring budget, and they were recording on cassettes and whatever else cheap, you know, at home they can do. So that's why it's so lo-fi. But I find the music is actually really creative, and it'd be really interesting to hear what it would be like if it was done in like a proper recording situation. And here, this is something very similar to that, also on Platinum Records. This is Stefan Neville again, and this is his pumice. This is Poise, etc. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outtakes or songs from 5 releases, cassette releases, mostly on Plop and Stabaistic something, records from way back in the 90s. Again, this is from 93 to 99. recordings. This sounds actually very similar to the last record I just played. It's a similar style. I mean, obviously with the same guy, one of the same guys. I actually didn't like this as much. I didn't find it was as creative. But you can only I should probably listen to it in its own, not one after the other, and give it itself its own attention, because that sort of music can get a bit on your nerves if you're listening to too much of it. I mean, this stuff here is pretty cool in its own small way, but it's not something you're going to listen to a lot. But nice to pull it out and put your headphones on. I think this is definitely better headphone music. Sticking with the droney underground sort of stuff, this record was posted up on Facebook by a local member of the local one. RST is the name of the guy. It's a guy called Andrew Moon, and it's released on U-Tech Records. It's a double LP on purple vinyl, and this is just pure drone, but yeah, really good. I mean, this again, headphone music, double LP, put it on, just closed my eyes and just drifted with it, and it's really, really good. So yeah, bought that directly from the guy, Andrew. You know, it's like I say, you just can't find this stuff in the shops. It just doesn't turn up in the shops, this sort of music. It's pressed in very limited editions, and it's not going to sell a lot of copies. You know, 100 copies, they'll be struggling. I mean, that complete the rotation, well, one of those is only issued in 100, and it was done like 6 years ago, and they still got copies available new. So. And finally, no, not quite finally, new release just come out this week, or last week, the new Beast Wars album, Beast Wars 4. I have the previous album to this, but I don't have the first two. They're actually quite hard to get your hands on now. This is one of New Zealand's premier doom, stone and metal type bands. The guy, lead singer guy, he got quite ill. Actually, he had a real big cancer scare, so the band had kind of actually folded, but he got through that and recovered and put this record out. It can be a little bit dark in places with the lyrics. Yeah, I've only listened to this a couple of times, but I do like it. I mean, I'm not. These guys are really popular here in New Zealand, and their records sell pretty quickly. And they are playing here tomorrow night, but I probably won't get to see them because I'm a bit broke. Spend all my money on records. But so I like them, but I wouldn't rave about them. But I think, and the consensus might be this is their best so far, but we'll see. Something I can rave a little bit more about though is this thing. This is this is a second-hand Trade Me purchase, which I was really, really pleased to pick up. And I'd seen it a few times. It's come up a couple of times. I didn't really know what it was, and I did a bit of research, and it turns out that this is a classic New Zealand punk band from the early to mid 80s, and I can't actually tell you what year this came out right now. This is great punk, and it's actually The Damned would be a very good reference point for this. So yeah, it's selling on. It's going for around about $100, but I actually picked it up for a bit less than that because I mean there's some drawing on the cover. The cover's a little bit creasy, but it's actually all intact. It's got a few nicks and dings, but it's actually all intact. The record looked a bit grotty, but once I cleaned it up, it actually plays really, really well with not a lot of surface noise. So really, really pleased, really enjoying that. Some classic New Zealand punk, and more New Zealand punk, even more classic New Zealand punk, even more classic is this. Although, to be honest, I think that previous album is musically better than this, but this is pretty bloody good. Sticky Filth, one of New Zealand's biggest legendary punk bands. This is it's their third release because the first album was a cassette, then their second album, Weep Woman Weep, which is probably their biggest well-known one, and then this one, and then there was another one came out in like 2012. They sort of regrouped and got back together. This is on I'm a Hit Records from 1990. Pretty heavy album, sort of what was it, a cross between the Ramones and British punk sort of thing. Yeah, really good album, but I do like the Dum Dum Boys better. The Dum Dum Boys went on to become the Henchmen, and they have a record out which is even harder and rarer to get. I did pay a little bit more than this than I would have liked to. Doesn't come up for sale very often. Again, the cover's well, it's actually in better condition apart from the name on the front of it than the other record, but got a few creases. The record was said, they didn't really grade it, but they said it played alright, and I was a little bit worried when I pulled it out of the package. It had a lot of visible marks, but fairly light, and once I cleaned it and played it, actually plays really, really well, fantastically well. So, yeah, that's me again. That's a bunch of noisy, underground, dark music. And that is my lots for now. I've got some back orders which won't be here for a while, so it might be a wee while before I get another video. It might be a wee while before I get this video up, actually. But yeah, as you can hear, it's pretty squally sort of music in the background. That's LLL will Destroy the World. Anyway, that's me. We'll see you again next time. Happy vinyl hunting, fellow vinyl lovers.